Hey everyone, I am Unmesh Jagtap,
Hello, my name is Dinesh Kulkarni.
and today we are super excited to take you through all the exciting work that we've been doing at Snowflake to power your next application. So let's dive in. When you think about application development with Snowflake, we generally think of three pillars. We build, you can build faster with a unified data platform. You can scale your applications with ease and security. And optionally, you can integrate and distribute your applications through Snowflake Marketplace seamlessly. So, today in this presentation, we are going to talk about the unified platform and integration and distribution of the products seamlessly through Snowflake Marketplace. So, when we think about your one platform for your data and AI intensive applications, this is what we are talking about. At the base layer, you have the data foundation where you can create the OLAP tables. You have hybrid tables. You have iceberg tables for the interoperability, and you have Postgres tables for your OLTP transactional workload. We also give you access to first party and third party connectors that allow you to bring the data that your applications need into Snowflake, but and also give you the flexibility of creating the data engineering pipelines for your applications. On top of this scalable, secure, reliable data foundation, we have world-class analytics engine and the AI services that allow you to do more with your application with your data. At the top layer, we have the extensibility framework with Snowpark container services and also Streamlit in Snowflake that lets you build great applications. With all of the data foundation, the analytics AI services, and the extensibility framework, you can really build amazing third party data, AI, and applications. And for that, we have Snowflake Native Applications Framework that allows you to package your data, your code into applications that you can distribute on Snowflake Marketplace. So, the thing that we are most excited about today to talk to you is Snowflake Postgres. Snowflake Postgres is in private preview and it's going to launch very soon in public preview. And it is Snowflake's managed Postgres solution so that developers can build amazing applications with the full Postgres ecosystem and extensions with OLTP performance. So this is full Postgres compatibility, no compromises. You can use all of the amazing Postgres extensions, PG Vector, PostGIS for your applications directly from Snowflake. You can bring your developer ecosystem, your drivers, your ORMs, and you can do all of that with the OLTP performance and the cost. And the great news is that it is a fully enterprise ready offering. So everything that you typically associate with Snowflake, which is, you know, uh, the tri-secret security or private link or high availability, all of that will be available to you in an extremely dev friendly product. So let's take a look at how you can build with Postgres. So here, if you go to Snowside, there is a Postgres uh, manageability option for you now, and you can create a Postgres database here. You can select the instance configuration. You can select the choice of the number of cores and the memory you want for your Postgres instance. You can select the storage, and then you can select the release for Postgres that you want to create your instance on. You can optionally decide to make this Postgres instance highly available. And just like that, your Postgres instance is fully provisioned. You get access to the Postgres database. You have the username and the password created for you. You get the connection string that you can connect into Snowflake. Now that our Postgres instance is fully provisioned and ready, we've got the connection string from the previous step. We can go to your terminal and connect into the Postgres instance. In this Postgres instance, I have a database with a table that tracks all the HTTP requests to a website. And I'm just going to create a synthetic data to add the data to this table and the database. And now from the other tabs in item, I'm going to start selecting these rows. So as you can see, the new data is constantly being added to the database, and you can select from that Postgres table within the latency that you would expect from Postgres OLTP database. So super excited to bring you Snowflake Postgres in public preview very soon. You're all excited about the roadmap for Snowflake Postgres. So in a few weeks, we will have enterprise ready offering available in key regions in AWS and Azure. This is going to be a native Postgres experience that you just saw, which is you get an access to a connection string and you connect into a Postgres instance. It is fully integrated with Snowflake from a billing standpoint, support for TSS, customer managed keys, and multi-AZ replication out of the box. Sometime by March next year, it will be available, generally available everywhere in all commercial regions in AWS Azure and a selective AWS GovCloud. um, what you'll get at GA is everything that you just saw, but also the reliability, scalability, and performance that you expect from a GA product, in addition to bi-directional data movement between Snowflake and Snowflake Postgres. So we hear a lot from the customers that moving data between these two solutions requires custom ETL pipelines, and we are just going to offer you a zero ETL data movement capability right in Snowflake Postgres to move data across these two different systems that you love. And then sometime by Summit next year, we'll be available for mission critical applications, which means you will have cross region replication, you have support for VPS and private link. You will have Snowflake integrated authentication, meaning you can connect into Snowflake RBAC and use Postgres instance. And all of this will be available in all commercial regions, within the VPS and the private link regions, and all of the gov clouds and the regions that you are excited about. Now I'm going to hand it over to Dinesh, who's going to talk about how to integrate and distribute products seamlessly with native apps.
Thank you, Unmesh. So I'm going to take over from here and cover native apps. Native apps have been generally available for over a year and a half. And for almost a year now, we've had container services based native apps as well. I'm really excited to tell you how you can win with native apps with concrete examples of how other providers have done. So the key parties here are the provider who builds the app, that can be a commercial ISV, whom we call third party, or an internal IT team within a large organization building for the organization itself, the second party. The consumer here is whatever organization or account, Snowflake account, is installing the app, and they are the ones who have the data and want to use some apps. There are three core challenges that native apps solve. First, protecting consumers' data, the sensitive high value data, and ensuring that it is properly governed. Second, respecting providers, that is the application builders' IP, and ensuring that it is only selectively exposed as the provider wants. And then the third one is ensuring that the app is integrated smoothly into Snowflake so that it feels like an extension of Snowflake functionality. And we also handle continuous upgrades. So why bother with native apps? You could always build connected apps and other kinds of apps. But the value proposition here is, first, Snowflake customers, large number of customers are there and they have valuable data and they have budgets to solve complex problems. Second one, it is integrated with Snowflake capabilities. Among them are the query engine, which is scalable, data engineering pipelines, and the new AI capabilities that are coming up. Third thing, collaboration is much more effective if you can share data in place without having to send it in files and putting it in stage in blob store and so on. Fourth thing is that we offer a marketplace where customers can discover your applications and they can install from there. And then the fifth but very important piece of the puzzle is that we have existing contracts with customers where customers have signed up for some capacity and they've paid money to Snowflake, and you can use a portion of that which is already budgeted to provide additional functionality via native app and monetize it. So you are tapping into existing budgets instead of waiting for customer to ask for more budget to their finance department and not doing anything until it's approved. Here are some categories of apps that have been very successful. So this is just a set of examples, three for each of the five categories, but it might help you think about all kinds of interesting things that you could build. First one is actually the new one, enhanced data shares. S&P Global has financial data. Allium has additional valuable data. Yes Energy has energy related data. And these ISVs are creating data products where they combine that data with notebooks and streamlets and really highlight the power of that data. Connectors obviously are a perfect fit for native apps because you want the connector to be close to the source or sink of the data. Then there are brand new analytics engines like relational AI's knowledge graph or landing AI's large vision model based landing lens app or Carto's visuospatial database kind or geospatial kind of capability. Then there are a new brand of apps, agentic apps, which codify workflows and automate them. For example, Genesis and Semaphore have built wonderful apps that can really enhance the productivity. And then finally, the traditional one, which is with a data share at the core of the app, there is analytics added to it. We have a number of examples, especially in the marketing and finance verticals. Golden Source is one, TransUnion, Axia, and there are many others. So this will hopefully give you some ideas about what you could build. Now let's look at the new capabilities that we have. Now this is mostly what is new since Summit conference that we had in June earlier this year. We've been continuously marching forward, making sure that native apps with container services is available everywhere. So all three clouds we've added since Summit, the Gov Cloud or FedRAMP moderate AWS Gov, and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as well. So you can sell your apps now in a much more broader worldwide set of regions. In addition to that, we have a set of new capabilities that are now generally available. They were previewed at Summit, and these simplify how the app requests additional permissions to access consumer data and so on. I won't go into the details of it. You can look at some of the previous Summit demos and talks. Instead, I'll talk about what is new since then, which is mostly in the space of enhanced data sharing. So first, native apps were born as enhancement of data shares. So provider shares data with the app adds analytics and provides it to the consumer. Now you can share back from the app to the provider as well. And that opens up a whole new set of capabilities where you can work more collaboratively with the consumer of your app. And then last but extremely important one is declarative shares. Now, this is a new capability where we take existing data shares and allow the providers to add to the data share notebooks or streamlets. And soon you'll be able to add agents as well to those declarative shares. Now, the simplicity is that declarative shares are very easy for the consumer to understand. So when they buy, they don't have to do the full scale app style security review. We Snowflake ensure that the declarative shares are limited in how they can access data. That's only the provider's data that they can access and so on. So let's look at both shareback and declarative shares in a demo. All right. So in this shareback demo, I want to show you how you can build an app and then share data from the app back to the provider. It could be shared to somebody else as well. If there's a third party that needs to be uh, receiving that data, that is also possible. But here in this example, the data is shared from the app back to the provider. So I've already gone and created this app, but I'll just show you how simple that code is. You just create an application, then you create a schema in that application, put some data into that, and then once you've done that, you're basically just creating the application with all the necessary setup capabilities. The important one here is that I've created this share, and that share is what is being used. So here is the create share demo, and that share is what app is going to share back. Now, the way to share that across regions is to create a listing. So this app also creates an external listing, and that external listing shares the demo share. And once that is set up, now we can go and actually use that. So the rest of it is all share related capabilities. But the app also asks for certain sort of privileges. So it wants create database as usual, create share, and then create listing with that share so that the data sharing can happen across regions. Now let's test this app. Let's see what this app does. So we'll create the app. Now what is happening is that it's running the setup script. Now when the setup script is run, it's also creating shares and it's also creating the listing behind the share. And that is what is going to be available. Now the main point here is that remember we said the consumer has full control and we're not going to expose consumers' data without their permission. So that's what you'll see next, which is This listing that has been created is actually dormant. It is not active. No data has left the consumer's Snowflake account at this point. But the app is saying, hey, I would like to share. So let's see what app specifications it has created. So the one it has created here is the Shareback. And this is where the app is saying, may I please share this data back with the provider? And now the consumer has a choice. They can either approve it or not. There's also a UI, but this is all about showing you the underlying infrastructure. So we'll just first see what objects are there in the app. The consumer wants to know. You can see that the app has a demo DB, it has a listing that we looked at before, and a share that is being used in the listing. Okay, so in this case, I'm the consumer. I'm going to say I'm actually just testing the app. I'm going to say yes, alter the application and approve that specification. So this is the choke point or the control point where the consumer makes a conscious decision. Yes, according to the business need, this app should be allowed to share back. For example, it might be for regulatory reasons. Whose use this data needs to be captured. So it will allow that. So that statement executed successfully. The consumer approved it, and that's now we have a share here and a listing created from that. So that was in a nutshell Shareback. Now let's go and take a look at the next piece, which is declarative shares. Now I'm going to follow just the demo script so you can follow this along with by going to GitHub. I'll just highlight the URL here, but just look for the declarative sharing sample. And the way we're going to do it is, unlike the other ones where I showed you in the execution in a worksheet, I'm going to go full command line. And the reason for that is we often get asked, hey, can I do my CI CD? Can I do everything scripted? And the answer is absolutely yes. All right, so let's go and look at the command line version of that. What I'm going to do here is show you uh, what can be done. So first step is I'll run a little query, make sure that I'm connected. What we have here is a population database, the simple native application framework population database. And that population database is what we're going to use for creating declarative sharing app. So let's go ahead and run that. Yes, I have the full connection. Here is the kind of data that's there, the country name, code, and the population by year. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is actually build app in 3 stages or 3 versions. But before I do that, let me show you what the code looks like so you know what I'm executing. Okay, so the first version is going to be this one, very simple. And the point here is twofold. One, the consumer has the confidence that the app is very innocuous and can be approved based on their governance. But the app builder, that is you, also have to do absolutely minimal work. So look at this is all you're doing here. Creating a schema. This is the population database. So what is the shared content? This is the database. Here's the schema. And then there is one view in it. That's all my app is, which is sharing this particular view. So I'm going to go execute that. Okay, so that is I'm going to create this using command line SnowSQL. And this is creating the V1 that we looked at. So it created it successfully. I've got an app and I've got a package. Now that is good and great, but I'm going to make some more changes to it. So this is iterative development. I started with an app that is just a share and very straightforward. Next step I'm going to take, which is already coded up here, is I'm going to add to it some roles. So this is the addition I'm doing. And I'm also providing the table, not just the view. And I want to have roles. Now, this table is not exposed, but it's available. And the roles are going to decide what the particular one is able to see. So the table is visible to analyst, whereas the view is available to both the viewer and analyst. So I've got some differentiation happening here. So with that one, let's go ahead and run the. Oh, so before that, let's test the uh, first version of the app as well. Okay, so let's see if we can find the uh, test script here and run it. I'm going to test that app that was built. And what it's going to do is it's going to make sure that I have access to it. So yes, it created it, and here's the data that it shows. So it's a very straightforward app, just one view in it, and now the consumer is able to see it. So back to here, we've got two roles here added to it. Let's build the app and run it. So here, instead of V1, I'm going to make it V2 and build the app. Now, when you're building the next version of that, it's just only altering the application package and doing things incrementally, because you want existing apps to be also upgradable. All right. So now in this case, instead of V1, we'll test V2. Run that, and we see the same data again. So the app itself is as advertised doing the role-based things. Now, in this case, I've taken that and I'm creating V3 of the same app. Now, in addition to the roles, I'm adding two notebooks to this. So there's an intro notebook and there's an analyst notebook. So that really showcases the data that I have. And we'll go to the notebooks in a moment. But first, what we're going to do here is build this app and run it. So this is V3. We are compressing all the kind of evolution of the app in a few minutes. So we've created the app and now it's time to test it. Okay, as you can see, we've now got this one, but I haven't shown you the notebook. So I will take you to the notebooks and show you how that works. Okay, so let's go here. Now, among the apps, I've got this declarative share demo already. So I'll click on that one. That's my app. It's all there. But what we want is the installed app. So let's go to the apps tab. Okay, so it's showing me all the apps that I have installed. And obviously, this is the test population database is the one that we want. Here I see the two notebooks that I added in my Visual Studio Code that I showed you. And let's look at one of the notebooks. Maybe look at the analyst notebook, because that's more interesting. As you can see, we've added more analysis to the basic data share, and that is how the power of native apps can be harnessed while building a very simple declarative share. So what we've seen so far is two demos, one covering share back, which means sharing back from the app to the provider. And the second demo covers how to quickly build very simple declarative shares that are also very friendly from a security review and governance standpoint for your consumers. Thank you all for joining us. Looking forward to seeing your applications in our marketplace.